This morning, we've seen that Donald Trump has pulled out of a thing called the Paris Climate Agreement. And he's done this via a thing called executive order. Now, all an executive order is it's written by a president and it does not need Congress approval. Donald Trump has said that he's about to do at least 200 of these just on his first few days in office. And this isn't necessarily new. Presidents have a long track record of using a lot of these, but Donald Trump does have reason to use a lot more than his first time, and his first time did use a bit more than other sitting presidents. Now, the Paris Climate Agreement has 196 parties in, and they look at long-term strategies on decreasing the average temperature of the globe. Now, there's three main methods that they use to do this. Finance, so sharing money around. Some countries are better off than others, and it's really important that we acknowledge that. Capacity building, infrastructure, that's a really big part. And technology, sharing different technologies that we have that can help decrease our global emissions. Now, the reason why leaving this agreement is so bad is because fossil fuels like oil, which Donald Trump wants to drill more. We've all heard drill baby drill for the last few years. And they account for 75% of global greenhouse gases. They also account for 90% of all carbon dioxide. And this is having a severely negative impact on our world. We are losing species 1,000 times greater than at any point in human history. We're in the middle of a mass extinction event, and the damages of losing those species to the way of life will be disastrous. And we're also losing 13 million people a year, and we're also displacing 23 million people a year. And you have to ask the question of where are they going to go? And if this gets worse, we're only going to see these numbers rise. Now, this is sounding very negative, and it is, but there are ways to move forward, because I think it's really important now that Europe acknowledges that America no longer aligns with the West. We no longer agree with each other, and we can no longer work with each other as much as we have been. America is no longer the leader. Europe, and I think we've seen this a lot recently because of the invasion on Ukraine by Russia, Europe has an amazing ability to come together when it's necessary. And I don't think anyone saw how incredibly productive we can be when we work together. And it's time for Europe to become more unified than ever. The fact is that we cannot trust the superpowers. We cannot trust America. We cannot trust Russia. We cannot trust China. Europe has to come together to form its own superpower to combat these and lead the world to a better place. American politics has a huge influence on how countries operate their politics, and it's time to separate that, because we cannot follow Americans' politics, because Americans' politics is for the downfall of humanity. Increased misinformation, increased disinformation, climate change denial, democracy under attack. These are things that the Europe should not stand for, and we should separate ourselves from.